Hey everybody, it's Kelly, and I am working on. I'm in the group Art Journaling with Annie, and what it is it's. And if you watch my previous video, you'll see I did this. And um, what it is she puts up a song, and you listen to the song, and you make an art journal page from it, and it's like when you, like I mentioned in my other video, I'm not going to go into it forever, but it's like when, four different people, five different people listen to a song and get five different things out of it. It's what affects you, your life, what part speaks to you, whatever. And this was, you can watch the prior video for what I did with this. But when I was done, and I was done filming, and I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, um, I have to add something to this, because for me, the song meant, the lyrics meant something, but for me, I have this ritual thing I do. Maybe some of you will do this yourselves or are aware of it, but what I do is, when there is something in my life that's negative, and I'm known for, or have been known for, and those who know me well know this, um, I'm not somebody who keeps quiet. If somebody disrespects me, treats me badly, or I feel disrespected, or speaks badly of me or whatever, I have had a tendency in the past to call them out on it, flip out, maybe say not such nice things, maybe say things that should have stayed in my head. But a few years ago, I went through a little period there where anybody who betrayed me or made me angry uh, paid for it dearly. But in reality, what I've learned as I've grown, I guess is the word, is I'm the only one who suffers. As we all know, every day life gives you things that makes you angry. Every day things gives, something happens in your life every day, or maybe not every day. Maybe it's just me, it's every day. But, things that you could really hurt somebody, whether by your words or actions or whatever. And at the end of the day, the only one who really gets hurt is you. So the best thing to do is put that behind you and move forward and let them live their life, even if they've betrayed you, hurt you, not treated you well, have spoken ill of you, what have you. Let them live with that consequence of that and be free and move on. And as they say, which I used to snub my nose at, be the better person, bigger person, what have you. So I was in the shower after I was done doing all this, and I was thinking, and I'm like, oh, you know what I wanted to do? So I'm going to explain to you. When I have things in my life that I want to get rid of, or I want to, even if it's a good thing that I want to put out to the universe for me, I write it down on a piece of paper, I burn it, and then I blow the ashes into the air, into the universe, to give it its wings, and its, put it out there, the energy out there for myself. So what I'm going to do is a mock version of this, because for me, the past couple weeks have been rough. This is a very, very, very bad month for me. You know, for personal reasons, as well as maybe some business reasons, and a very emotional month. And instead of being nasty or whatever because I'm feeling bad, or emotional or what have you, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a faux fire on this, and I'm going to just do some flames up here as if this is going to be on fire, to kind of, for me, to pseudo, I don't know if that's the right word, but like to faux burn this. Do you know what I mean? To let it go out into the universe. And I know that's maybe not what everybody lives and thinks of, and maybe art journaling for some affects them a different way, or they deal with it. And I won't do this for every page, but in this case, because of all that this month has brought me, and will bring me every single month, every single year this month, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm done babbling, as I like to babble, and I'm just going to do it real quick, you know, just to finish it off. I'm going to take a Derwent Inktense pencil. It's Poppy Red. If you don't have these, use a colored pencil. You can. I love the watercolor pencils Crayola makes. You can use a coupon. Go to Michael's AC Moore, Joann's, wherever that's around you, and get the watercolor pencils. If you don't have watercolor pencils, use paints. Use a pencil, whatever. It's a guide. I also have red, orange, and yellow. Some just acrylic paint, folk art. And I'm just going to sketch kind of some flames. And there's no rhyme or reason to having the flames and or how you make them. It's just the point of it. It's just you going with the flow of it. And this is just a guide for me. And you can use whatever color. I mean, if you have a black, you don't even have to use a watercolor pencil, honestly. You could just use a colored pencil or a regular pencil. But this is what I'm doing. And I'm just going to go over it because I know what I wrote. I know. And let's see if you can see. You can kind of see where I kind of drew. And what I'm going to do now is take just a paintbrush, dip it in a little bit of water, and just wipe it off for a second. Now, Derwent Inktenses are permanent, which I love. You know, especially when you're doing a painting or journal page, or you want to journal, or you know, add some interest to your mixed media, which I love. But I'm just going to kind of give this a little bit of a run through with the. I'll have to do a little journal page, Maybe the next song I'll use my Derwents, because I have the art bars too, which I love. And I'm just going to give this a little bit of wetness. And once this, like I said, once they dry, they're permanent, so I love that. I'm going to put my thing in there. And then I'm going to take a smaller brush, and I'm going to start painting. I know I'm kind of off here. I really have to clean my desk off so I haven't made videos in a while. And I really have to get in the habit of cleaning up when I'm done because I have stuff from projects here from like 4 projects ago. So when you think of a flame, usually you look at it, the outside's the darkest. So I'm just going to take a little bit of red. Now you can use, if you have it. Oh, and I also want to tell you what I did. Wait a minute. If you have glazing medium, if you have, you know, anything that you want to use. The pencil, the underlying pencil that we just did gives me, you don't have to follow it to a T, but it kind of gives me a general idea. Because the background's so dark. And I don't want to go all the way to the top, only because I want that to show as if it's burning. And that's really all it is just a series of, as you can see, it's kind of like mountains. But we're going to, you know, add to that. Now, here's the thing. You can add water to your paints. You can let this dry and then give it a squirt. What I did was, I used clear gesso. I love clear gesso because when you put it on, it seals everything underneath. So you know I used water-soluble things on here underneath and the writing and whatnot, although my markers were permanent, but it doesn't move whenever I put things on top of it. Clear gesso is one of my favorite things. I also have black and white gesso. I'm a gesso freak. If you don't have gesso, use a matte Mod Podge, a matte gel medium. Gosh, there's other forms. You can even do a white Elmer's glue if you really, you know, just water it down and do it if you want to have that clear coat on there so your bottom doesn't move. It also helped seal some of this tape down that I had. So, also, if you can find, let me see. I have a blending gel. Now, you can use a floating medium, you can use a blending gel, You can use, this is a blending medium from Liquitex. I know sometimes, you know, some of these products, I only buy these products, Liquitex and those kind of things, with a coupon from AC Moore, Michaels, Joann's, wherever I go. Because I do have quite a bit of Golden and Liquitex, because I love them, but I can't afford them straight up. So I'll just have my husband and my daughter go in with me, and each of us have a coupon, and then buy what I want. So I'm just going to use a little bit of this blending. It's from Folk Art. I think this was like $1.19. And even if that's too much for you, and you only go in for your blending gel or your, you know, extender, you can get extender. Use a coupon, and then you get it for, you know, 79 cents or whatever. It doesn't, you know, don't be ashamed to go in with a coupon and walk out with one little thing. But I'm just going to have a little bit of that to blend in with. And I think I'm going to grab a bigger brush. I really got to clean up my brushes too, so I can use. This is just the brush I'm going to use. You can tell I beat the crap out of it. I don't take care of my brushes like I should. But the next color I'm going to go in is some orange. And a little bit of blending gel in there, so it leaves it a little bit wetter. And it's like using water, but it doesn't change the color, if that makes sense. And I'm going to go in, because I kind of want, I don't care that it's going to be, you know, you can see underneath my flames. I just want to get the effect of the flames. And if trust me, you might look at this when I'm done and be like, oh dear. But if I had more time, like if I was really going to sit here and paint, I'd take much more time. You know, it's hard when you're doing a YouTube video, and I get excited. I'm very excited about it. But all it is going back over your things. And I do the blending gel one first before I'll go back with the orange without the blending gel. Because we want to, as you can see, you want to bring down your orange now. I didn't put any more paint on. And you see how I'm doing right here? I'm leaving the outside of where my paintbrush hit when I went down, and it's a little bit darker and more pronounced there. I'm just taking it down the middle. I'm taping this on the YouTube channel where I usually do it on my webcam, so I'm trying this out to see if it's easier for me to upload, because I have a few things that I've done. And I have a book review, actually, of a really awesome book. And I have a painting I did of another journal page of a gypsy that I have to upload, which I've uploaded, but I can't edit. It's YouTube, and I'm glad that, you know, I spent 2 days. Now I'm just going to make the middle a little bit brighter with just straight orange, no floating medium. As you can see, the floating medium makes it float on top of your underneath. I think I'm going to bring this in. Let me see if I can bring this in a bit. Excuse my weirdness here. So you can kind of see better. Boy, it's not as clear on here, though, as on my camera. Isn't that odd? You would think YouTube would be. So you can see, I'll concentrate over here, but I'm going to have to move it back to where it was. But just so you can see what I'm doing on this side, then I'll move the book. Anyway, I'm doing this on YouTube so I can see, because like I said, I did the other one on my webcam, my other one's on my webcam, and editing has become... I edited it, I did everything I was supposed to do, but YouTube just will not upload them. So I spent 2 days playing around with that, and I'm going to play around with it again today, but I figured let me try this on here, doing it straight off their site, because maybe that's what they want us to do. I'm going to move this over here. And I'm just going straight in for the orange, remember. Nothing else on there. No blending, no nothing, no extender. And remember, we can go in at the end and outline and you know, this is just the base of what it is. But so I'm going to try this and see how it tapes and uploads and does all its good stuff, and see if it makes a difference. Because I have videos in queue that I want to put up for them to go public, and it is just not working with me. And the fun thing about the art journaling is that there is no rule. There are no rules. There is no rules. You know, you're not doing it. I mean, some things I do, and I do for beauty, for the I'm going to say beauty of it. And I love leaving the strokes in there. As you can see how it's like streaky and strokey. That doesn't really bother me much because we're going to be going over it. But now's the time to look at it and see if your flames are up high enough as you want them. And if they're not, go back in with orange or even some red and make it higher. And then take your orange. But this page is more of a page that, doing this with the lyrics, with what Annie has going on, it has a significance for me. So I really, all night, have been obsessing over having to flame it all up. It would help if I had it in the camera, wouldn't it? See, I just took some orange and I'm just going up. Going up. I'm going to keep going up. I'm going to make this one a little bit fatter. And flames are cool because, I mean, I do flames in a lot of things. But there is no really right or wrong to them because, obviously, you can't control flames. I'm going to take a little bit of my red, and I'm just going to go on the outside again. Because you know, as flames are, they do have all these different cool colors. And there's no rhyme or reason to that either. Sometimes you have a little bit of blue in the flame, if you want to go that route once you're done and add the blue. This is just it has a significance for me. And that's what I'm going for. And like I said, the journal group that she opened, a lot of people have done it already. And really have some amazing work that they've put up as their almost healing things. And this for me is just getting me back into what I love to do, which is paint. So I'm going to rinse my brush there. I'm going to take some yellow and I'm going to put it in a little bit of the blending gel. There's a little bit of orange on my brush still, as you can see, so I don't really care. And I'm just going to run it very lightly through, just a small stroke. See if we can get it up here a little bit higher so we can kind of get everything here. And just run it down. Run it down. And you can do this too, just keep running it down. little bit more, run it down, and then go back. Now right now it looks like a hot mess, but I don't care because what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry it. So let me just dry these real quick. Give me a second. And I'll explain, I don't want to talk while the heater, while the dryer's on. Move this back a bit. And I'll explain why I'm doing it. And it's even, you can even bubble it up a little bit with your heat gun, which is cool, gives it a cool effect. If you hold it there just for a second, you'll see your paint start bubble up with the acrylic paints. Plus my lighting in here is, I did finally figure out how to get the glare off, but, when I'm recording, but okay. But this YouTube isn't really giving me the clarity that I want. But okay, so here's what we did so far. We outlined it in the red, we got the flames, we did some orange, and then we did the yellow. And the reason I dried, and I'm giving that a second to cool off, the reason we dry it is because I want whatever color I put on top now to be more prominent. Like the yellow, like you can see the yellows and that, and I want to kind of have this as the underneath and start building up my flames and blending them a little bit better. So I can do that, but you have to have, you have to have your you know what I mean, your colors dry. Otherwise, when you put wet on wet, which is what I did in the beginning purposely, when you put wet on wet, obviously they blend and they, you know, mush like I like to say, and they do their own thing. So now we're going to, I'm going to take a scruffy brush, like a pounce brush, and I'm going to go straight into my bright yellow. Nothing added in there but that. And I'm just going to start pouncing in the middle of my flame. Now, can you see how bright that is? Because we have the, we dried the underneath. And we're just going to go up. And that makes all the difference. Sometimes people don't realize, and believe me, I didn't before either when I first started this, but you know, I would always go wet on wet because with mixed media, I had such freedom because you do have to have things dry. And when I first started all this stuff, heat guns weren't really known. You had to sit and leave things dry, and sometimes I still do because the heat gun will not give me the same effect that I want. You know, it heats. If I didn't put the clear gesso on, it would have lifted my tape because it would have brightened, you know what I mean, it would have what do you say, lifted, you know, heated the adhesive and lifted it, you know, the whole deal. So sometimes I just kind of gotta leave things dry so I can do what I got. Now I'm just gonna add some orange. Because this is going to give a whole, this will blend with that yellow. and give it a whole other look. And remember, we're going on top of dark, so it's going to be not as bright as if you did this on a regular piece of paper. It's not going to be, oh, I need more orange. It's not going to be as prevalent as, you know what I mean? Because the background is dark. Even though we did seal it, and it is laying on top, you still have to go over a dark background. And don't worry if you go over where your lines are. Make sure you get the bottom of your page. Alright, and you see how we're getting, it's really hard to see here, but you see how we're getting the flame look? And we're going to have to use a little brush to get into some of these corners up here, but for now, we're building. Now I'm going to take a little bit more yellow. And I'm not going to rinse my brush again. I'm just going to run it very lightly up here, down at the bottom. Alright, now I'm going to rinse my brush. Go for more orange. I know I have a little brush somewhere, but just using it's like a flat little scruffy, and I'm gonna go on the outside. Of that yellow, not over the yellow, but on the outside of it. I know this seems like an awful lot to do, but when you're doing it and not having to explain it, you just sit and play. And if you don't have an idea of what you want your flames to look like, look them up. Look up flames, so you get a general idea of what you want and how you want yours to look. Because ultimately we're going to go over, we're going to outline it in red, because red's what I want my outline to be. So bring it down. And the more you play around with it, let me get my, now I have this just plain, nothing on it. And I'm just going to lightly tap to blend my yellow in with the orange that I just put. And I'm going to just tap, I'm not going to re-wash it out, but I'm just going to tap off after I do each flame. to get the majority of the orange off, so the yellow is still there, but not as prominent. But you get to see that highlight. The blending of it. And always have a paper towel or whatever near you just to blot off. I'm adding a little bit more yellow just to do little highlights where. But they're your flames. You do what you want. Down here, kind of blend it. If you see it's too bright somewhere with the yellow, just go in and blend it some more. Like I said, there's no right or wrong to these because with flames there are no right or wrong. Flames are flames. You can't really do anything to control it. Just want a little more highlight right here. Now you can see this is a perfect example right here is where I'm not getting the yellow contrast as much as I want because it's starting to blend. Now it happens to look okay, so I'm okay with that. As I go in and kind of still blend because I don't want the yellow to look like when you look at it, it's like yellow. Okay, now we're going to go into our red. Let me draw this for a second. And I'm just going to outline it and then call it a day. I'm not going to fret over it too much because I see things like right here, for instance, like, oh, I should have done more. Yeah, I'm not going to fret over that. Just going to give it a quick dry. While I do that, I'm going to take my liner brush, but you can use any, see, it just doesn't focus. You could take any small brush that you have. I'm going to dip it in my red. No water, no nothing. Get a good amount on there. And I'm just going to go in and with some squiggles. Get more red. These don't hold much, you know, because they're small bristles. Just add a little bit of movement to it. And trace. And you can use a bigger brush to do this. It doesn't matter. Whatever you have on hand. Never feel like when you watch people do things like you have to have what they have. Use your, use your imagination. That's the best part of it. It's just sitting here. Is this my greatest work ever? No. But you know what? It was so much fun to do, and I didn't get hung up on so much while I was doing it. On how everything was going to look, and if it was perfect, and gee, does this look like flames? To me, this is what this felt like today. And this is what I did. And you just keep going. And following it down. And if you want to extend, the flames down so they kind of, you can do that. Just follow it's all your own artistic interpretation of what you want to do. Again, if you look at it and you're like, I want a little bit more yellow, put more yellow in it. Who's going to judge you? It's your art journal. It's where you learn techniques. Like, this is bothering me. And those who usually watch my YouTube videos or know me know that when little things bother, I get very obsessive. So I'm not going to obsess too much, but there's a few little things here now that I outlined that I want to go back and kind of just play around with for a minute. And those are good. I know it doesn't have to be perfect, but I hate when I see something. I'm just going to run that over there, yeah, and blend that. A little yellow in there, blend that, and we're about done. Okay. And I think we are good to go. Now I'm going to dry this. Because I want down here to be a little bit dry because I want to write on it. And this journal page, believe it or not, is very significant to me. And you'll see why in a minute. And I didn't do anything up here. I left everything the way it was. And let me just turn it this way. Let me turn. Can you see the flames? I'm wondering if yeah. I did turn the one lights off. That was really giving it a glare. And like I said, you can make these fatter. I mean, you can do whatever. My thing is I just wanted to do it, and I did it in 30 minutes, if not a little bit less, due to the fact that I talked a lot. But here's what I'm going to do. How am I going to do this so you can see it? I'm going to turn it this way towards me. And what I'm going to write right here, I'm going to start over here in my big black pen. If you don't have a black marker that you can write with, use black paint. You can certainly do this with black paint, a black marker, black Sharpie. Like I said, but black paint's just as good. And what I'm going to write is new now. Here's the fun part, because everybody who knows me also knows I can't spell. Let me see. I gotta look up how to spell this. The word beginnings. I know, it's so silly. Okay. B-E-G. I just don't want to do it wrong. I-N-N. Alright. Then I like to do a heart. Okay. New beginnings. And I have a little bit of, do I have a little bit of red left? If I have a little bit of red left, you know what I'll do? I'll just use my Inktense because I'm out of my red. But I'll take my little heart right here, and I'll just color in with a watercolor pencil or your red paint, whatever you have. I just don't have any more red paint left. Kind of out of it on my palette. Now I'm just going to color it in with my watercolor pencil, whatever watercolor pencil you have. Any watercolor pencil will do. Take your brush, a little bit of water. And that, my friends, get a little dry. Oh, look, it even gives you some red flowing out. I'm not going to waste my time or yours with me drying it. And there we go. So that's the finish to my journal page that I started yesterday, my video I had on there. And check out the group, Journal with Annie. The link and everything's in my other video to this. And I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope that you guys do some art journaling. So have a great day, and I hope that this YouTube video recorded okay, and it's not as bad as I anticipate. Thank you guys. Be kind to each other.